it does make you look back and say, wow, look at everything that's happened in these last 10 years. It's just been a really powerful decade for me.
I couldn't be any luckier in my life right now. I come from nothing, and I feel like I have everything.
Once again, today's special guest, Eilleen Twain.
I think the whole look of it was just different. It was original and different, and I think that was refreshing to people.
It may not last forever. You're only new once, you know. This is only going to happen one time, so I'm enjoying it. Now, I really just simply, I'm doing it for pleasure. Right now, I'm just looking and going, wow, I'm just so grateful.
I thought I had big dreams. I always planned on making it somehow, but I never dreamt that making it meant this.
It is a kind of a rags to riches. It's just that same old, you know, once upon a time I was nobody and now all of a sudden I'm getting all this attention.
I come from nothing, and I feel like I have everything.
My life has changed so much. It's so different from where I started. You know, I live so much in the present and the future that my life from the beginning it's another lifetime already. You know what I mean? It's so far from where I am right now.
Mama never seemed to miss the fine things in life. She did. She never did say so to Daddy. And she never wanted to.
How big was the counter you first performed on?
About kind of like that bar counter, yeah. Oh, I tell you, I was 3 when I did that.
Wow.
And
Good thing it didn't fall off.
that was my first stage, you know, my first little stage. So.
And Mama never wanted any more than what she had. She did. She never did say so to Daddy. Yeah.
Once again, today's special guest, Eilleen Twain.
And staying home, she did. She never did say so to Daddy. And she never missed the flowers and the cards he never sent her. She did. She never did say so to Daddy.
I just thought that artistically we were more open somehow. I didn't feel as restricted growing up in Canada by all of that. We had one radio station in Timmins when I was a kid, and they all in the same hour would play Stevie Wonder, Dolly Parton, and maybe Led Zeppelin or something like that, all in the same hour. And they all influenced me so much that my music ended up being kind of a blend of a lot of different things. Country music is, I don't know, it's still your grandpa's music, but it's also your daughter's music. It's just, it's getting bigger and better all the time. I mean, when you lose 2 people that close to you in your life, your world is over, your life is over. You kind of feel like that. I mean, I certainly felt that my singing career was over, and that was sort of my life.
God bless the child who suffers.
My main responsibility was to my family. I had to be there for them, settled their affairs, became the executrix of the estate, and just took on a bunch of stuff that I knew nothing about. You know, dealing with their mortgage and their taxes. And during the time that I had my brothers, I didn't give up singing entirely. I worked at a resort, I kind of did a nightclub type act. For a couple of years, it paid the bills and educated me very much on a different side of entertaining. You know, my parents' death was a terrible thing for me, but in a sense, it also affected me in a positive way. I had a new drive, a drive that I'd never had before. I just thought, you know, I cannot let all the years my parents put into my career just slip away. I have to do them proud. You can make a tragedy work for you and really allow it to let you grow and just become a stronger person. This is true, though. This is where I come from. This was shot in my hometown. This was shot in Timmins, Ontario, in a farm field where I'm from. And that is, I mean, that's really, that is me. Where I'm at, I'm from 500 miles north of here. So we get that snow, it's real. Mind you, there's been a lot of people in Nashville that has done the exact opposite of what you're thinking and said, now, is that fake snow? Is that wolf superimposed? Is that real? Yes, that is real. It's all real, and it's where I'm from.
It was just weeks, and we were negotiating the contract in Nashville for an international deal. I mean, that was such a big thing.
I didn't have very high expectations. Just getting a contract, that was making it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure you felt like you've made it now, but was there a pivotal moment where you realized all the hard work did pay off and that you have arrived to a moment that you've aspired to be at?
I think that right now is the first time I can say that I'm feeling that. You know, because what is making it? I don't know. I mean, if I just looked at making it and what I thought making it was when I first started, I made it after my first 100,000 record sales. Wow. I would have said I've made it, you know, because I didn't have very high expectations. I was grateful for everything. I came from nothing. Wow. Just getting a contract, that was making it.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought you'd take for
It's happening quicker than what I had expected.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's happening very fast. And it has from the day I got signed, from the day I showcased. It was just weeks, and we were negotiating the contract in Nashville for an international deal. I mean, that was such a big...
Right. Fire demos to 6 different A&R guys week after week. You bypassed that whole thing.
I did, and you know why I did? I chose to do that. You got to understand now, a lot of people in the industry don't start, not everybody, but I know a lot of people that I've met, they don't start doing bars and all that until they're of age, till they're in their late teens or after they get out of high school. Not me. I was doing the bars when I was 8, and I did it for a long time. So when I did, you know, when I did get out of high school, I mean, I did go on tour even after I got out of high school on the road. And I was doing bars for about the first year. But then after that, I didn't do it anymore. I started to get into other things. I started getting into doing gala shows. I mean, I did the bar scene when I was a kid. For years, I did that. It's like, well, how many more bars can you do? You don't learn anything more after that. I wanted to learn something more, and I went out and I did things. So when I went to Nashville with my songs and my whole idea of how I saw my career, they were much more in a very... In sort of a country mold of that time, of the 90s. It wasn't even a country mold that I knew. The country that I knew was more like Dolly Parton and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, people who were raw and real. They were unique. So when I went to Nashville, and I thought there was a unique spot for everyone. But so I was surprised by it, is what I'm saying.
Have you seen the changes that you directly or even indirectly caused?
I mean, it's changed, it's changed a lot since I came out. What made you say that, I think, was pretty groundbreaking in a lot of ways. And that's before any success, before anything. And it was so risque for country. The whole thing of it, like a guy on the beach and the whole, I mean, it wasn't something I don't think they had ever seen on, you know, in their world, you know, of country music. So it was groundbreaking even at that time. But I mean, since then, I mean, I've been told, you know, this is now happening in country music and whatnot. I mean, whether it's because of, I mean, it's not because of me. I'm sure that just people maybe were inspired, and maybe some people within the industry said, wow, you know, we've got an artist who's got something that we wouldn't have considered 6 months ago or a year ago. But now that Shania's doing that, so it's not like, I think the artists who've come out with things that you maybe hadn't seen before in country, they obviously always had all of that going on. It's just the industry's opened up to them now.
Such a buzz was created about it. So many people talk about your video.
Well, I think that for country music, it's different. I think it's kind of refreshing because it's different. I mean, videos are crucial, so... And I think I've just done a video that was just a little different visually, but it was very colorful, fashionable. Videos in country are are fairly new, really. It's really taking off now, and it's becoming a really great tool, and I think it's necessary. I think that the people need, especially in country music, they want to know the person that's singing that music. They want to see you, and they want to know you.
Now, you were there at the same day that Mutt first met Shania. It was backstage at Fanfare.
I think country and rock and roll have lots in common, and the thing I like about something like this is it's so unusual to see the connection between the fans and the performers so close. I mean, rock and roll, they throw them off the stage. You know, here they bring them on the stage.
What was that a question of? Both you two hanging out and then him meeting her? Or what happened? Can we talk about this?
Sure.
Okay.
Basically,
you were smitten with her too, I remember.
No.
You weren't?
No. Play the new Shania Twain video then. No.
Okay.
Let's get this straight. Let's set the record straight.
Okay.
Mutt wanted to meet her, and I came with him to Nashville because I was working on a song with him, and the whole reason he was there was to meet Shania. He had a crush on her.
Wow.
And so he went to meet her.
That's a beautiful love story.
Together and started writing. Writing is a very intimate process. You really get inside each other's imaginations and everything like that, and it can be a lot of fun too. So we started to get pretty close during that time and just got to know each other really well through songwriting.
By Leopard. They're going to say that anyway, though, aren't they?
And I'm sure you were hearing comments like that too.
Yeah, we heard it, and it just sounded like, to me, it sounded like someone had succeeded in again, creating the hybrid. He took country music to the masses. It actually took it to a totally different place, you know, even different countries. To me, I thought it was a great hybrid that actually worked, and the fact that it was still country, but it was pop as well.
What is the most popular music? That's pop music. So there's no reason why a country artist cannot be in pop. There's no reason why a rock artist can't be in pop. A rap artist can't be in pop. So, you know, I think we all belong there. I think anybody who's worthy of mass appeal is a pop artist.
That he...
For my future.
Whose bed have your boots been under?
Even The Woman in Me, 10 million albums, that was a lot for a female Canadian with a rock producer. It really was a recipe for disaster.
Nothing surprises me when it comes to Mutt, so.
I didn't even realize that my vision was going to be so offensive.
The Mutt, so if he's into it, I'm sure it'll do well.
We're just lucky with the timing. I think a lot of people out there that have grown up listening to rock can still relate to our music, but yet the people that love country still relate to it. For some reason, it's got just enough of both elements to attract the masses. That's Mutt's talent. So flat on my face after that. And it didn't. It was a great relationship. Bo is very much involved in the production end of things.
You worked with Shania Twain. Your husband worked with Shania Twain.
He took photos, and I produced, and John directed her first 2 videos. And that was before her album was released. Yeah. So it's been so much fun to see her success. She's such a good girl.
She was saying backstage how much she appreciated what they did for her, how they started her out.
She's great. It was a great learning experience for me to be able to work with someone like that. It had nothing to do with what, you know, whether it was country or not, or none of those things mattered to him. It was just, let's just bring out your personality. That's what it was all about, and I liked that a lot. I really thought that people can relate to on an everyday basis, lyrically and musically. You know, and I want people to feel good, because that's what I get out of it, and that's what I'm trying to share.
One of the reviews for the record talked about how there was some reverse discrimination. But guys wouldn't mind because they wouldn't notice.
And I can be late for a date, that's fine, but you better be on time.
Just having fun. I think a general attitude amongst the women that I know and the women, you know, the women in my life, is definitely just to have fun with the fact that we're quite liberated these days and quite in charge. In this period of time that we are in the world, I think we just sort of feel a confidence about ourselves and I like to have fun with that. It's as simple as that. That part of my sense of humor, but I mean, give me a break. I have fun poking around with that humor. People know my personality. I wear that on my sleeve. My personality is in my songs. There's no doubt about it. That's, you know, when you see me in concert, what you see is what you get. I have a thick skin. And I like to step out of the fame. Fame is fantasy. It's all fantasy. I'm just a real person sitting here right now. I leave it whenever I get the chance. I forget about me, the performer, every chance I get.
It is true. I mean, I am exactly the same person. I still live the same lifestyle at home. It's no different.
I'm just bursting, honestly, with excitement about this new album because it's more of the same in a certain way. As a songwriter, I've hopefully improved, and I'm going to be giving more on the new album than I did on The Woman in Me. I'm not going to be holding back as much as I did on the first album. And I just hope everybody ends up being as excited about it as I am in making it.
That it's part of the person. So I love him for all of those things. I mean, I love everything about him, the person, the genius, all of that. I think we've just grown together is a better way to put it.
We're just all in this together, and we all just do our own thing individually. And you know, every time a fan goes to buy a record of mine, that's an award for what I do. And that's writing songs and singing them. And it's great.
I just don't collect things like that. I thank very much all of the fans who supported me this past year. My husband and producer, Robert John Mutt Lang. I don't know what else to say, but a big fat thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Well, it just seems for the longest time, people around you were always concerned with sales and career milestones and stats. You, it seemed, turned that off.
Yeah, I really don't pay attention because it would drive me crazy. My favorite moments in all of this is when I'm on stage and the fans are there. If that was my whole entire career and it was isolated to that, I would be happy. I'm not counting records when I'm standing up on stage and people are singing along with the music and the whole vibe is happening and it's loud and it's exciting. And that's the fun part. That's what I get out of it.
Man, I feel like a woman.
I don't have time to sit around and think about how many records I'm selling. Of course I know. I mean, people say, okay, you've sold this, you sold that, here are the statistics. This is the record you've broken. And for that moment, I'm pleased with that. It's like, great, that's fantastic. But it doesn't take up any room in my mind.
You kind of get a little spoiled. I mean, you know, you have a car waiting for you and you arrive anywhere at an airport and you fly first class and all these things that, you know, that I really couldn't do before. And so in that sense, my life has changed a great deal. I'm enjoying the luxuries of life in a sense, is what I'm saying, that I never had before. But at the same time, I've kind of gone back to the basics as much as I can. So I have a real contrast going in my life right now. So I never really focused on being a celebrity. And so I guess that same attitude is just sort of stuck with me. I really don't feel like a celebrity. I'm really not sure what that is, you know. But for the most part, I just try and live my life like a normal person. The less fuss, the better. I don't like to have a huge entourage. You know, I like to keep things as normal as possible.
Does that kind of strike you as ironic that you're still exactly the same person, but now people are falling all over themselves? Can I take your picture?
It's really funny. It is true. I mean, I am exactly the same person. I still live the same lifestyle at home. It's no different.
It's all about the music. If it's not related to the music, then it's got nothing to do with fame. And I don't think my family should have to be exposed to that, so I keep it very separate. I'm very private that way. And I like to step out of the fame. Fame is fantasy. It's all fantasy. I'm just a real person sitting here right now. I can see you, you can see me. I don't live it. I leave it whenever I get the chance. I forget about me, the performer, every chance I get. I literally just am not that person unless I'm that person for that moment. But
it's easy to step in and out, because today you're doing a lot of press. You have to be that person. When the day is done, is it hard to
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm being a different person, don't forget, right? So, I mean, this is me, I'm just being myself. But stepping in and out of the role is not meaning that you're changing personalities. Doesn't mean it's easy. When I'm at home, we're not talking about me, the singer. And, I mean, nobody really cares about any of that. I'm cooking dinner or giving Asia a bath. So yeah, this is me, the professional, I guess you could say. I mean, yeah. And I go in and out of that pretty easily. And whenever I'm not on camera or I'm not on stage, I am just wife, mom, sister, friend, whatever.
Really cool.
Did she give you any advice before you went on?
No, I just met her on stage. Just walked out on stage and was like, hi, nice to meet you.
So on opening night, right here at the Corel Center, guess who walked out to a packed house, full of confidence, and proceeded to knock everybody out with her performance? Look familiar? Oh, this is a 14-year-old Avril Lavigne just before heading out to the show. And you can see she's holding a picture of me, which is very cool because here I am 4 years later on the very same stage holding a picture of her. How cool!
It's just been quite extraordinary to follow all the record-breaking she's achieved. It's just been a wonderful climb. It's been great to watch her succeed. We just got together and talked for a while. Just amazing how we both have so much in common.
She's really cool. I mean, we sat there and talked for a couple hours one time, and
She's very proud of you.
Congratulations, Avril.
it's really funny, the connection that we have, and it's really a really funny story that, you know, I was 14 and I won a contest and I sang with her, and now I'm in her world. It's a really funny story, but it's a really cool story.
I just thought it was shocking that people were surprised by it.
That I was bearing my midriff, I mean. Oh, you know, it is kind of silly, I know. I don't know why a midriff has become such a thing. Because, I mean, there's been so many midriffs before me. It's not like I was the first person to do that. I think it was because, you know, I think it started from that first video, the What Made You Say That video. That may be the very first time that anyone ever did that in country music. So I think maybe that's what happened. I got stamped there for doing that. It was a statement. I didn't know that it was a statement at the time, but I think maybe that's where the labeling came from. Many people since me in country music have done that, and they don't seem to get that same...
Sucks being a groundbreaker.
I think it means when you're in the public eye and you're entertaining or doing anything that has to do with your career, I mean, I think it's just something you want to look your best. It's just all part of it, and I enjoy that part of it.
Tutoring? I never heard that. Oh, that's really funny.
You haven't heard the tutoring one?
No. No, not at all. How funny. You know, if I see somebody reading, somebody I know reading one of those trash magazines, I say, why do you read that stuff? Well, you know, there's always the response, well, there's always sometimes, you know, a little wee bit of truth in there. No, many times there's not even, you know, a speck of truth like that one. No, I did not tutor Britney Spears.
Have you had to develop a thick skin over the years?
I started off with a thick skin. I think that my childhood helped in a big way there. You know, being the kid that goes to school without a lunch, going through winter with rubber boots, that toughened me up a lot as a kid. Grateful. I don't do that anymore. I just don't feel like I need to beat my last one. I need to be better than my last one. I'm always trying to improve. I want to write better songs. I have a personal goal with myself to just always try to be better. I'm not trying to beat my sales. I don't know, there's something soulless about that. I'm more interested in just being better at what I do as far as writing music. The songs are everything. My deepest and greatest pride is in writing a good song. I want to write songs that people connect with. That is my personal goal. Of course, I mean, I'm an optimistic person. I'm a can-do person. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. That's just the way I am. I just can't imagine looking at life any other way. My approach to songwriting often reflects that, and Up is just no exception. We're really kind of out of the way to be able to do that. I just love to travel. I love to move around. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll go full circle and end up right back in Timmins, Ontario. Who knows? But
I think she's an amazing artist, and she's a great girl and makes great records. And she's sold a record to every single person on the face of the earth.
She's been painted as breaking down barriers. Do you see that?
Absolutely, she kicked it down.
What drives you?
And I like that feeling. It's just to be able to look back At 10 years of continual success, of constant active career, that feels really good. Now, the first time I've really ever been able to reflect on it really, makes me think, wow, I've arrived or something. I've made it. I don't know. You know.
Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is amazing.
What's happening today, Bill, is that we're having the official opening of the Shania Twain Center. Shania Twain, as you know, has been back to Timmins many